The team met on a Sunday night to conduct initial home diagnostic tests and evaluate the home of our very own Richard Bowen.
Yeah, that's me in there right and tight. Real nice and real tight.
And his dogs, Missy and Brown. We first set up the blower door test by assembling the metal frame and Velcroed panel and setting it up in the front door of the house. The house reference tube, or the green hose, was thrown through the fan opening away from the house and then threaded through the patch in the bottom corner. The house was initially prepared for this test by making sure all the windows and exterior doors were closed. The blower door fan was placed in the panel with the exhaust side facing out. Ricky then set up the DG700 and the smallest flow ring was selected initially. We then established a baseline and ran the blower door test.
CFM at 50, we got a baseline reading of like 0.1 Pascal difference. With me, you're close to 50. Oh, you just passed it, so
Somebody else
maintain.
My friend wanted to display PDF.
So it's reading low. That just means that it's super leaky, so we're gonna have to take off another. Fan.
Okay.
So
taking off what? B?
Alright, we're starting a reading, so we're at around 30, so you can increase the speed again. So down. So it's flashing it low, so we're still leaking. So we're just gonna go open. We're just gonna open this son of a bitch.
There we go.
Alright. And now we're back down to about 30. Increase it again. Lord have mercy. God, you can just feel how leaky this is.
That is horrible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There is a
There's
breeze
legitimate,
going.
like, air is flowing through this house so
See
fast.
if I can video it flying.
Like, that's moving around.
Anyone have hair flying?
The number is CFM.
Okay,
It's around
demonstrate
3,000.
the breeze.
Round 3,000, kinda high. Yeah, so 2,800 CFM. Oh, we're a little high. Slow it down a little bit. Slow it down. A little bit slower.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, 28, 29, around there. Alright, so we can shut that off now. We got that. We then tried to conduct the duct leakage test to only discover that below the plywood cover over the return vent was a duct full of sawdust and junk. We then noted the state of the windows and doors to find that they were not the best leak-free windows. We also tested the smoke alarm.
Good test. Nice. It's just for decoration, guys.
Out, yep. Okay.
And explored the attic space. We found many interesting items, inspected the insulation, and checked the fireplace shafts. Disclaimer, the next few clips may make you dizzy.
Okay, so what am I recording?
Out, yep. Okay.
Well, that's fun.
Oh.
Just one of those little kids' toys.
Hold it. There you go.
Advil, do you need Advil?
I'm holding it.
It looks like homeless people have been living up here.
Maybe that's why they closed on back.
Right? I'm about to be stabbed by a hobo out of the dark. Right, so we're off to find the hobos in the dark room. Okay, so what am I looking for?
Everything. Oh, wait, here, I have an attic checklist.
Yes.
Inspect insulation.
Okay, inspect the insulation. Insulation. How much? There's less than an inch. Yeah, that's about an inch, maybe. I don't know, I work in the metric system, so it could be less.
How much in metric system?
Like 2 centimeters.
Okay, that's about an inch. What kind of insulation is it? Like blown in?
No, it's bat actually.
Okay. How is that?
Like rolled out bat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and is it all through the is cover the whole floor?
Yes, except for the parts that's like that I'm standing on. That's yeah. Yeah, none on the hatch.
Check for major air leakage issues in places like chimney bypasses.
Now there should be a chimney here, and
I'm looking at the top of the chimney, and it doesn't go out of the ceiling. It's been sort of knocked down and then repaired. The roof has been sort of.
the roof is closed off.
Yeah, the roof closes off the top of the chimney.
Right. Now is the chimney just a shaft?
Yeah.
An open shaft now?
Yeah. It's not capped, so I'm looking down into it.
That basically is just like,
Window up here that looks outside.
I knew that. So there's a...
What's the condition of that window?
I can actually see a little gap around it looking outside. So there's a hole. Yeah, there's a hole around the sill.
Essentially the major problem...
It's on the bottom left corner of it.
So we finished the blower door test and we realized that we forgot to change the ring setting on the fan. So it was given an inaccurate reading. So we redid the test with the appropriate settings, and we were given a 1500 CFM at 50. The cubic feet, the volume of the house is around 12,800 cubic feet. So that'll give us an ACH of around 7. Now that just confirms that the house is poorly sealed up and there's cracks all throughout the house. So we're going to try and focus on the larger cracks, predominantly in the bathroom. We're going to try and seal those up through the crawl space. We're also going to go into the attic and seal up the chimney that's opened up there, and it's a vented attic, so we want to close that up because we don't want the cold air in the winter pulling down the center of that chimney and sucking the heat out of the house. So we're going to go ahead and get that started, and we'll try and show you guys pretty much how we're doing that.
Later on that week, we made repairs to the house, so I will pass the microphone over to Ricky Boehm himself.
Y'all, it's your boy Ricky. And so we finished the blower door test, and now we're going to do some repairs in the crawl space. And when you're working in the crawl space and doing these types of repairs, you want to make sure that you're wearing the right type of protecting gear when you're using different types of materials. Now, to protect my beautiful skin and my beautiful face, I'm going to be wearing all the protective gear that is necessary to use this equipment. So I've got gloves here to protect my hands, I got a scarf to protect my lungs, and I've got my goggles here to protect my fancy glasses. What I'll be doing today is filling in cracks in the floorboard with a product called Great Stuff, and it's really important to read the warning label on these products. So Great Stuff uses flammable gas to pressurize it. It's a skin irritant and an eye irritant as well. Alright, so this is a main issue with a lot of old houses out here, is the insulation underneath the floor in the crawl space usually just falls down over time. So it was just going to be filling in cracks, but now I got to go grab some stuff and start putting the insulation back against the floor. Insulation only slows conductive heat flow, so that's why we need it against the floor here to stop the heat from escaping from the house into the crawl space. Easy way to reattach old insulation back to the floor is to use wire hangers and just clip the ends and straighten the piece out. Then use a staple gun to just staple it straight to the joist, and that'll keep it suspended against the floorboard. The main reason for wanting to do that is just to stop a draft. You want to control the airflow into your house and out of your house. With that being said, let's get started. It's important to note that working in a crawl space, you're working in some pretty tight conditions. So you better be comfortable with that. Alright, I would have gotten some video of me putting the insulation back and applying the great stuff, but I only had about a foot of workspace, or a foot and a half maybe, so I didn't really have a lot of space to pull out my camera and start recording. Hey guys, so we finished sealing up the major cracks. We sealed up the chimney in the attic as well, and we even reattached some insulation in the crawl space. Hopefully these will help reduce the heating costs this winter, but I know that it'll only do so much. The house is almost 100 years old, and there's a ton of different problems in the insulation and just the overall envelope of this house as well. So that's why it's always important to sit down with your client before doing the renovations and discuss a budget and discuss what's important to them, what they would like to see out of the renovations, and what they're willing to pay for them as well. These are all important aspects that go into an energy audit and renovation. The client needs to state their concerns. Obviously, they don't have unlimited funds for the most part. So it's important to sit down and talk what can help, what can be most effective at what cost. So we only had a small budget. We could only really afford to seal up some of the major cracks and seal up the chimney as well. So after the renovations are done, you want to come back and meet with the client after some period of time and make sure that they're satisfied with all of the renovations you did. You want to make sure they're happy and that mostly that their energy bill has gone down, so their cost of living has gone down. Because that's your whole purpose of doing the energy audit and the renovations, is to improve their comfort in the house and reduce the cost of heating and cooling in the house as well. It's very important for the benefit of you as an energy auditor that you're helping every client to the best of your ability. So with that being said, we're pretty happy here at this house after some of these renovations. Obviously there's more to be done. We plan on to continue the work and hopefully improve the performance of the envelope and the performance of the house as well, and to improve the comfort of all the occupants here. So we hope that this video has been beneficial to you, and we hope that you've enjoyed it, you've learned a little something, and you're ready to take on your project at home as well. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email or leave a comment. Thank you guys so much. Take care.